Welcome to this course in Basic Norwegian. Now it's lecture 2, where we will go through present tense, verb in second location, and then some basic vocabulary. So the theory behind here, it's not so complex, but yeah, it's of course very important to learn. And then it's also with verb location, it's actually somewhat difficult to master, but that's something we will work as we go along, because there is many rules related to that. But first, just the present tense. Present tense is quite easy in Norwegian. For regular verbs, you simply just add an a to the infinitive. For example, å spise, it's to eat. If you want to create the present tense, you just add a, spiser, and it would be the same if it's I, you, he, we, etc. First person, third person, etc. Å lese, to read, same thing, regular verb, just add an a to the infinitive. Third example, å snakke, to talk. Yeah, snakker, as you might have guessed. So, and as we see here, you have the same rule where it's I, you, he, she, we, you in plural, or they. So, in present tense, jeg sover, du drikker, han hopper, hun bor, vi sitter, dere ser, de går. The second thing we have here, it's a verb located in the second location. So this rule it's some other rules that they claim it's second location after time and location. It's another rule, but it's generally a second location where first location it's kind of broad. For example, jeg leser en bok. I'm reading a book, or I read a book. If you were to say now I'm reading a book, you put now, which is a time, or just like a general first location. Then you will have to put the verb in front of the pronoun. Nå leser jeg en bok. You could have written the same phrase, or said the same phrase. Jeg leser en bok nå. If you put the time expression in the end, jeg leser en bok nå, you see the verb just stays as in the original phrase, jeg leser, because then you have the pronoun in first location. Second one, jeg ser på TV i kveld. I kveld ser jeg på TV. I'm watching TV this evening. This evening, I'm watching TV. Because you start with i kveld, where you see i kveld, it's actually an i and then kveld, so it's not just, you could theoretically say ser, it's in third location, but this would be like one first position. This is how you don't need to worry about this now. We will work with that later, but this first i kveld, you could also say every Friday, hver fredag, or every Friday after he comes home from work, hver fredag etter hjem, etc. It would be a long phrase, but then every Friday after he comes home from work would be first location, a time expression, and then the verb. But you don't need to think about that now. Right now, just be aware that it will build on. That's why it's very important right from the beginning that you learn that when there is a time expression, nå, i kveld, etc. third example. Først spiser vi middag, så ser vi på TV. This we will get back to in lecture 6, a lot with routine, daily routine, but here also just notice first, because you could again here said, vi spiser middag først, but because you have first in the first place, then you have to have the verb inversion. Spiser, it's the verb. Then, in this context, så ser vi på TV. Then we watch TV. Again, sequence, this is first location. If I just take one mention here, the connection word og, which means and, eller, or, men, but, and that are not too common, which can also have different meanings, so ignore this for now. But these words, you start a new phrase and you don't have the verb inversion. Like for instance, you could have said først spiser middag og ser, og vi. Først spiser vi middag og vi ser på TV. First we eat dinner and watches TV, as not afterwards. Then you see there's no verb inversion after this og, which just means it's a new complete phrase. Okay, so just go through this basic vocabulary now. I read and you should repeat. This is all the question words, which it's good to know just from the beginning, and instead of just learning some, a little by little. So, hva, remember the silent H in the first lecture. Hva, hvor, hvem, hvordan, hvorfor, hvilken, hvilke. These conjugate based on gender of noun, so you don't need to think too much. It means which, by the way. We will get back to that. Når. In another, as you see, hvordan means how. However, if you're going to use how old, how big, how fast, etc., then you would use the question word hvor. Hvor stor, hvor gammel. It's just the way it is. I don't think I would think much think much about why it should be like this. Just remember that's the way it is. And then we have the pronouns. We went through quickly earlier with the present tense. Jeg, du, han, hun, vi, dere, de. More basic vocabulary. Å hete, å komme, å bo, å snakke, å skrive, å drikke, å lese, å spise, å se, å vaske, å gå. To make the present tense of all of these, it's just to add R. For instance, in the first one, jeg heter Magne. I'm called Magne. My name is Magne. Jeg bor i Brasil. I live in Brazil. Sorry about my writing. As in all languages, there is irregular verbs. The one you should now learn right now, å gjøre. In present tense, it would be gjør. What are you doing? As you see, you remove the E. To be is completely different, so I'm here. Jeg er her. Again, also, of course, it doesn't matter if it's I or you or first person, third person, but to be in present tense, er. Or si han sier. He says it here, where you have ER. Yeah. And then, as we also have mentioned, og, men, or no. So now we're going to use it all in a simple dialogue. First, I will read slowly through the whole thing. Then I will translate, sorry, and explain the grammar related to what we talked about. So, a short dialogue. Tore kommer fra Bergen, og Lise kommer fra Oslo. Nå er de på kongress i Kristiansand. Hei, god morgen. Jeg heter Tore. Hva heter du? Jeg heter Lise. Hvor kommer du fra? Jeg er fra Bergen. Hvor er du fra? Jeg kommer fra Oslo, men nå bor jeg i Arendal. Hyggelig å treffe deg. Hva gjør du? Jeg er lærer. Hva er du? Jeg jobber i butikk. Hva gjør du her? Jeg er her på kurs i pedagogikk. Nå begynner mitt kurs. Ha det. Ha det bra. Så Tore kommer fra Bergen. Tore comes from Bergen. And Lise comes from Oslo. Now they are in Congress in Kristiansand. You remember second verb in second location. Now they are. So you remove and put the verb in second location. Hey, good morning. Morgen. It's a bit odd one out. The G is silent. I'm called Tore. What's your name? Hva heter du? My name is Lise. Where do you come from? Hvor kommer du fra? Fra, it's from. I am from Bergen. You see, you can use kommer fra or er fra to have the same meaning. Hvor er du fra? Where are you from? I come from Oslo, but now I live in Arendal. You could have said, men jeg bor i Arendal. But, yeah, men jeg bor i Arendal, but because you have this no, then you have to change the verb location. So this men is not, as mentioned, it does not change the verb location. Hyggelig å treffe deg. Nice to meet you. Remember from first lecture, L-E-G, silent G. Hva gjør du? G-A, silent J, the irregular verb to do. What do you do in present tense? I am a teacher. En lærer. A teacher. What are you? I work in a store. What do you do? What are you doing here? I'm here in course in pedagogy. Now my course starts. You remember, again, verb location. Bye. I will just ha det. yeah, buy. Bra, it's good, so have it well, or buy and be well. Yeah. Hopefully that was yeah, it you will look through and you will understand how these verb structures and etc. are in this dialogue. If we so hopefully now you, as we go along, you know how to make the present tense now, and then verb in second location, try to see it in these phrases or yeah, dialogue we had now, and then learn this basic vocabulary. We will have more material at norwegianclasses.com because this particularly verb in second location you should train a few times, even though the theory seems quite easy now, because this is one of those things that later will cause problems even in intermediate level, because this will build upon itself and become a little bit more complex as we go along, but the logic will basically stay the same. Thank you, and see you in lecture 3.